They spent the annual budgets of their kingdoms, flaunting their most luxurious garments before one another. Yet the event ended in a quarrel. Francis I, King of France, and Henry VIII, King of England, foolishly fell into a dispute at the very gathering meant to establish peace. In the early part of the 16th century, the French and English kings were actively seeking allies. They had a common enemy, Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor. No ruler in Europe was more powerful, wealthy, or militarily successful than Charles. Thus, the former adversaries, Francis and Henry, concluded that it was time to make amends. They had a mutual foe to unite against. Negotiations began, and a meeting was scheduled. Both sides agreed that June would be the best time for their gathering. Not just a meeting, but a grand celebration to honor the forthcoming peace. Each court pondered how to present themselves in a way that would impress the other side. What could astonish and captivate their imaginations? Something that would leave them breathless. The kings contemplated how to appear before one another in such a way that each would turn green with envy, immediately recognizing the ruler of the richest nation. Shortly before the event, as the arrival of the first guests was anticipated, a tent city began to rise in a valley near Calais. Oh, what tents they were! True palaces. For Henry, a castle called Gide was prepared, his headquarters. Covering an area of 10,000 square meters, its 10-meter-tall walls rose from a brick foundation. These were walls of brocade, supported by wooden pillars gilded in gold. The roof of the castle was also made of fabric. King Francis's tent was equally opulent. It too was draped in golden brocade and adorned with so much glass that it seemed as if the sun itself had taken residence within. It's worth noting that glass was an extremely expensive material in the 16th century. In total, 300 pavilions were erected in what would later be called the Field of Brocade, for members of the royal families, courtiers, and clergy. An additional 3,000 more modest structures were built for stables, workshops, servants' quarters, and kitchens. A vast city emerged in the open field, complete with its own streets and squares. They even had names befitting the occasion: Peaceful Avenue, Flower Alley, Beauty Square. The kings met. Their first acquaintance resembled a courtship. They scrutinized each other so closely that laughter erupted around them. The two young kings critically assessed each other's attire, and both were pleased, both with themselves and with their future ally. Throughout the rest of the month, tournaments, festivities, theatrical performances, and feasts were in abundance. Poets sang loudly of the king's splendor and their meeting, as if the two peacocks, Francis and Henry, sought to assert their superiority. An important moment came with the betrothal of the French heir, François, to Princess Maria. The young children were seated together at the table, while their fathers joyfully discussed the promising union, but soon everything took a turn for the worse. The English king jokingly challenged his new friend to a duel. It was a friendly wrestling match, right in the middle of a feast, after many cups had been emptied. Laughter and applause filled the air, until the King of France pinned Henry to the ground. Furious, the King of England jumped to his feet, and although Francis patted him on the shoulder in a friendly manner, making efforts to make everyone forget the little incident, Tudor could not erase the humiliation from his memory. Upon returning to England, King Henry forged an alliance with Charles V. All the efforts and resources spent were in vain. The engagement was broken, over a trivial incident stemming from a foolish duel. The two children, Prince François and Princess Maria, never married. The Dauphin died, passing the rights to the throne to his brother Henry, while Maria Tudor later ruled England, marrying a Spanish monarch.